Hello everyone, I'm Melanie with Paint and Crafty and it's Quick Sketch Thursday, so I'm glad you're here tonight. Tonight I'm going to be showing you how to create this cute little whimsical drawing right here. This little stack of friendly friends right on there. I thought it'd be a great little one to do for this time of the year, for being about Thanksgiving time, because you know, friends make the holidays great. So we're going to be working on that tonight. I'm just going to be using a set. I drew all of this with just a regular old mechanical pencil, nothing fancy. Now with doing pencil drawings, it's best to have a smooth paper. So something that's smooth is going to work the best. This is just on mixed media paper. It's the Canson brand water or mixed media paper. Hi Mary, thanks for popping on. It's what I'm drawing on tonight. So I prefer to draw on something that is smooth. So even copy paper would work. This is just a time to practice your quick sketches. And so just use what you might have. And a thin smooth paper is going to work the best. So I'm just going to go ahead and flip the screen over to so you can see it big. So I'm going to go ahead and poke over there. Let's do that. Let's flip you up this way. There we go. Now we're on the right screen. Now when you're doing your pencil drawings, you can get an expensive set of pencils. This is drawing pencils. These are Kimberly pencils, and this set comes with a number 2B, a 2H, and an HB. So your HB pencil is going to be very similar to what your number 2 pencil is. So that's what that one is going to be. And then it's going to, the 2H is going to be harder. So that's down this direction. And then the 2B is the softer. B on your pencils stand for the black quality. So it can go all the way up to, I think, like 6B, 8B, somewhere around there. So they can get fairly dark and black. And then the hard, it's going to go the other direction too. So that'll be like the lighter colors you could get. So you can get a little drawing set of pencils if you would like. You'd be able to easily find them. I think I bought these at Hobby Lobby is where I bought my little set from. But I'm going to just be using the majority of tonight. I'm just going to be using my regular old mechanical pencil because you want to use what you have and just start in and start working on practicing your drawing. Hello, Gloria. Thanks for popping on tonight. Oh, before I forget to, I do have a Ko-fi page. It's kind of like a Patreon page where you can go on. I have a sketchbook membership over there as well. And that's where I keep all of the tracers for all the drawings that I do on my Facebook Lives and my YouTube channels. So if you're interested in that, pop on over there. I always include a few little extras as well. It's very reasonably priced. I'd love to have you become a member. Well, let's go ahead and start with our little drawing here, and I'm just going to divide my paper up into thirds today. So I'm just going to I'm going to eyeball it. So that would be like where my sheep is. He's the tallest little guy. And then another third, right like that. So that's just kind of a general eye. Well, I kind of got that third a little high. Probably should move it down a little bit. So I need to have a little bit more room for my piggies. Now, I would just draw these reference lines fairly light because we're just doing a pencil drawing tonight, so we're not going to have any watercolor or anything on there. So we're going to want to make sure that we keep our lines straight, our lines light tonight. Hi, Carrie. Thanks for coming on. Hopefully the stream goes better tonight. We're just streaming in one place, so that should help. Let's take a look at our little sheep. If you think of it being kind of a rounded off rectangle at the bottom, this is where his back is going to be. So I'm just going to come right around here. Got to have a little room for some little legs right here at the bottom. He's kind of shaped like a little bale of hay is what he's shaped like. It's got his little roundness right like that. Now to do his little legs, to give it a little bit more dimension, the leg that's the farthest back, that's going to be your longest leg. Let's put that up there. That's going to be your longest leg. And then the one that's here is going to be slightly shorter. And that will just give it the perspective of that one leg is in front and one leg is in back. So I'm going to draw this leg a little longer and then this come out a little ways. Draw this one a little shorter, just a little shorter. Now when I get to the front, I'm going to draw this leg a little longer and then come back here. And then this one's going to be a little shorter. So by drawing it that way, you're just going to give it just a little tiny perspective of that one leg is in front and one leg is in back. Now let's go ahead and stick his little tail on here. He's just got a little nubbin of a tail, nothing too big. Little sheep don't have too big of a little tail. Now let's do his little head. It's kind of an egg shape is how I drew it. And then to get that sheep look, I put his ears going pointed down. That will give it that little extra bit of sheep look. Now you're going to want to come in across his body here a little ways. Let's draw our little egg shape. going to come down. This is going to give him his character. However you draw, what angle you draw him in, that's what's going to give it the character, is the angle of his head and how you draw it. So I'm going to come up here. Now this one I kind of kept the head down a little lower. This one's up a little higher. If you look at my back, here's my back right there. So I put this one down a little lower. It doesn't really matter, but it will affect how he looks in the end. I'm going to do his little ears pointing down, coming over. Helps it look a little bit more like a sheep and less like a dog. Now I'm going to give him a little black muzzle, and this is that sad face shape that's going to come across. And then his little nose, I'm just going to do an upside down triangle with a little line. That will be his little mouth for his little muzzle. He's cute as can be. Now you can decide how you want to decorate up your sheep. I did throw a little blanket on him just to give him a little different look. Now this is where you can get creative. Choose what design you want to put on yours. Sky's the limit when it comes to this. And I do have a Facebook page, and if you pop on over there, you'll see this drawing listed on my page, and underneath it you can pop your drawings in. I love to see what you do. I'd love to share what you do, because you know, everybody has different ideas. Everybody's drawings look different. You might use something different than pencil tonight. You might use colored pencil instead of regular pencil. So it's wonderful to see everybody's what they choose to do. Then I'm going to do a round circle in the middle and just do an X like a button. And you could do little stitch marks if you want to. The sky's the limit on what you want to do. Now for his eyes, I just popped 2 little round oval eyes in. Give him very simple eyes is what I did. There you go. So he has kind of his little own character. He looks different than this little guy over here. Now let's come up and do our little pig. Now our little pig has, it's not quite a circle. It's got a little bit of a flat area at the top, but it's got some rounded off. So it's kind of a rounded square if we think about it that way. So we're going to come here on my side. I'm going to stack him right on up. Now I got to have a little bit of room for feet just to be able to step on his back a little bit. We're going to have to get this a little bit more rounded. I don't want him too square. He's got to have a little bit of chub to him because he's a nice little round chubby little pig. So we're going to come out this way. Okay, so now to get that roundness, I'm going to want to come here and round this off a little bit. Oh, let's see. I'm going to change erasers here. And I'm going to want to make this a little bit more soft as well. So I'm going to come up here and round that corner off more to give him that nice little round chubbiness. So I don't want it too square. I want to round those edges off just a little bit. Okay, that looks a little bit more chubbier, a little bit more like a fat little pig would look. Now to do his little feet, all they are is little W's down at the bottom. Just a little W right there. And then there's going to be one up here, just a little W's shape. Now let's go ahead and put his little cute piggy face in. So to do that, I'm going to pop about right here. I'm going to do his round little nose, little pig nose. And then we got to give him an ear. So his ear is just a soft triangle shape like that. And then I'm going to come over here and pop a partial one on this side. So a partial little rectangle. So we saw part of that ear. You can come into a little bit in the inside too, just around, soften it up if you would like to add that soft quality to your drawing. Got so many different erasers. Okay, let's come here. Okay, now I'm probably drawing a little bit heavier than what you should be drawing. You should probably be drawing lighter if you're using pencil. Now to do his nose, I'm going to do long ovals for his nostrils. I'm going to give him some long ovals for his eyes, just simple little eyes. Now he's going to have a little pigtail, a little tail that comes like that. And then you can add some little spots on your pig. If you would like to have a little spots on there, you could just come in and add just a little bit of little spotted pigs. They look cute. I like a little spotted pig. Put him on there. Let's give him some spots on his ears. Let's give him a little spot here. And maybe one on his tummy down in this area. Well, that might be enough. Okay, up next is this cute, well, he's kind of a turkey. I thought he looked more like a turkey than a chicken. So let's go ahead and draw him. Now, it could be a chicken or it could be a rooster, whatever you want. All you have to do is throw a crown, a little crown on the top of there, and you could have a rooster. But I was kind of going for a turkey. I don't know, maybe it doesn't look like quite like a turkey. If we think about it, it's this U shape here is what we're going to be, and then we have some fingers. And up we go. So let's start with a U shape here. Now we got to have some room for some legs. So maybe it might make sense to throw our legs in a little bit. have our little legs there. It's going to have those little toes that come across. Now let's go ahead and do our U shape. So this will be my back feather coming down. This will be his chest, and then we're coming up to his head. So this would be his head. We're going to come back down. Let's come over just a tiny bit and then make his little finger feathers. So we're going to come up, down, up, down, and there's his little finger feathers. Cute. Now he gets a little beak like so, and then a waddle coming down here. And I made a little bit of a side feather that's coming over here. Now there is some details on this one too. They're just little tick marks that come down to give it a little feather quality. So you could add that on if you like. Now this is like, again, all these little details are things that you can decide how you want to make them. I know there's ones that are watching that love to use gel pens, so you can come in and do gel pens on this detail work. Now I just gave him just a little eye right there. He'd be cute too with a pilgrim hat on. If you had room to put a little pilgrim hat on him, he would look darling with that as well. Okay, and I'll do a little kind of a stitch mark. So it's kind of a primitive looking style. God has that whimsical primitive style. I'm going to erase my little line marks coming across. Okay, got that line and that line. I'm just going to use a little soft brush and wipe away my little eraser bitsies here. I'm going to get my cord out of the way. Hi, Kelly Rose. So I'm just going to give this a little tiny brushing. Come on. This would be cute too, done in acrylics. Now, once you have it drawn, you can do whatever you would like and however you would like to do it. I do have a little sample over here where I did this one in colored pencil. So this was the tracer that I sent to my sketchbook membership. And that if you copy it off, you can use colored pencils. Colored pencils work really well on smooth paper, so copy paper works really well for that. This one I did on cardstock. I did it in marker, but I didn't have any alcohol markers, so my streaks kind of came through. If you have alcohol markers, that will really kind of downplay the streaking of it. So this one was done on cardstock. So the sketchbook members have all that available of being able to trace off or copy off multiples. So great way to be able to do that and not have to draw every single one that you are doing. Okay, so let's come in and do a little bit of pencil. Whoops, you know what I need to do? Let's do this decorative border around the edge. So all I'm going to do is make a real soft line of kind of some movement around the border. I'm going to just kind of create a little soft look. We're going to be popping in some leaves that are going to be on there. So I just gave it a very whimsical, soft look. Now to do the little leaves that are on here, let's see, maybe I can draw on the back. To do an oak leaf, if you curve it like that and then start here at the point or at the back point, come out and do some fingers back and forth and then end with a finger at the bottom. That's all you need to do to create an oak leaf. It doesn't have to be exact. They don't have to be the exact on each side. So that's a full one. To do a half of one, you would do a curve like this, like a smile face, come down here and then come this way and then end it up to go like that. And that's how you would make a half of one. So you can add a few of those little leaves on and around your drawing of however you might want to pop them in. I'm just going to put a few here and they just go pretty fast. Actually, the faster you do them, the better they look because they're not necessarily real. Now the one thing is that our hand tends to want to replicate the same shape we just did. So like I did this one down, I was going to try to do one up, but I didn't quite. So now this one, I'm going to want to do a different direction. So let's see, maybe I'll only do a half of one, this one. Up there, finger, 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 coming back down. Okay, so now let's try on this side. Going to come down like so. And then maybe this one will come up this time. Finger, finger at the end and come around. And then maybe poke one in this way. All right, now this one does have a little saying that comes around it. It says, life is better with friends. And that's just a real fun little saying. We've used it before in some of my draw-alongs, but it works perfectly for this little picture. And I just kind of started down low and then added a little bit of fillers into it too, some little doodles in there to just kind of lengthen out my words since it wasn't quite enough long to go all the way around, but I thought it looked fine to end over there. So if you want to be able to do something like that, I just started here. It's good to turn your paper so you'll be able to write correctly. And it looks good. I'm just using my regular old handwriting, but it looks good to switch up like from uppercase to lowercase. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just going to follow my little stack of animals here. Let's see. When you start practicing your lettering, you're going to find that there's certain ways that you like to make letters. And as the more you practice, I really feel like it's a drawing skill, lettering is. So I'm going to turn it here. So you're going to just learn a rhythm with how you like to write. And the more you practice it, the better you're going to feel, or the more comfortable you're going to get with it. And then I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to wrap friends this way. Carrie's on. She's my spell checker. Carrie, did I get all the words right? She always giggles when I ask her, but I'm serious. I'm serious. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little doodle pattern here. This one might be kind of cute too, to put a little chaff of like wheat. Is that how you say it? Chaff of wheat in there. You could do something like that. You could lay some acorns in here if you wanted to do something besides leaves. You could do acorns as well. So now let's start a little bit on the shading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just use my number 2 pencil, and we're going to start doing the shading. So the shading, hi Jeannie, when you do your shading, I'm going to turn this picture back over. When you do some shading, try, and this takes a little bit of practice, so you don't, especially some of these bigger areas. Let's see if I turn it back over. Sorry about that. You turn it back over, you're noticing that you're not seeing a lot of pencil marks there. You see some. The camera is picking it up some. I'm not saying I'm an expert in shading at all. I'm still practicing myself. And it is a hand workout for me. But if you're shading, is try to do oval circles back and forth, do kind of some light picture. It's the ovals that kind of fills it in more. So work on an oval, switch your pencil, turn your pencil so you don't get a really big flat spot. You're going to get a flat spot depending on how, but keep on switching and turning and doing that oval shape instead of doing just lines like this. Now you could do lines like that. That adds a great texture if that's what you're looking for, but if you want to get a little bit smoother shading, is to try to do the ovals, vary your pressure on your hand, so the darker harder your pressure, the darker your black is going to be, and then you can go lighter as well. So work on trying to do that if you want to try working on creating more of a smoother space. Now with this one too, so I don't smear it with my hand, I'm going to start at the top and then work my way down, so I'm not getting my hand all the way through my drawing. So there has to be some sort of contrast in your drawing. So I'll put this little guy over here so you can look at this one too. So to get that wing, the front part is lighter. That's going to pop up. So I don't want all the same tone everywhere around my little turkey. So I left a little highlight. Now I can create that highlight with a pencil eraser if I need to. If I feel like all my tones are the same, I can pop in a few highlights with my pencil eraser by wiping that color out. But I'm going to start here with my tail, or with the background of my turkey, and then do my tail light. So I'm going to just come right here and I'm going to do that little circle motion. Now I may not get this all done tonight when I'm with you. I try to keep Quick Sketch Thursday to 30 minutes. But I'm just doing that little oval motion is what I'm doing. And the same way when you're doing colored pencil. If you're doing a colored pencil, to get it a smoother blended look is if you do this more oval pattern when you are doing your pencil work, the smoother blended coloration when you're doing a colored pencil too. So it's the same type of look. I do kind of find that shading does wear out my hand. It's a workout for my hand when I'm doing these little shading pictures. I remember doing one in high school that was a rather large one, and you know what? I never did finish it because it was so hard on my hand. All of the shading with that pencil really was a workout. Now when I get to this part of my wing here, I can go a little darker. I can go ahead and press that in just a tiny bit. go a little bit darker to even pop it off more, but then I got to go back and gradate that color a little bit so I don't have such a harsh line. Now I can come up here and strengthen these too. I can come in and darken up my pencil line and add it on. Now, if you really wanted to go dark, you could switch pencils and use those drawing pencils that I had talked about earlier, the HBs, the 2Bs, and those ones. So if I wanted a really dark mark, I could use the 2B, and that would even create a darker mark for me. So you can do a drawing pencil as well. Okay, so let's come up here and do it a little bit more. I'm just keeping that oval, trying to keep the similar pressure on my hand and not getting too far and not getting too dark right away. I'm just kind of gradually working my way into the darker areas. So to get a little bit more definition here, I can make it a little bit darker on the outside of my turkey. Now, if you're using markers or you're using a felt tip, you're not going to be able to get this shaded look like this as easily. You would just create it in different ways by using different tones of your color. So marker is going to work totally different than pencil and colored pencil. Not that one is better than the other. They just will have different looks. I'm going to come right in here, add a little darker on the bottom. So I'm going to keep to those oval shapes. Are you starting to feel it in your hand if you're doing it? Just curious. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's like, whoa, this really, I can feel it in my hand more, doing those little circles and just a little bit more pressure. Now to do his little waddle, I'm going to try to leave a little highlight in there. So I'm going to come right here, do as dark as I can, but I want to try to leave a little catch light if I can. I'm going to leave a little catch light right there. Now I can lighten this eye area by coming in with my small eraser and lightening that up, which looks good too. It just adds a little bit more dimension to it. And then it looks good. It looks good. Okay, so let's come in here and do a really light picture. You know what? I'm going to try using my 2H and see if I kind of like that. So this was a nice sharp pencil. Because it's a 2H, I'm not going to be able to go as dark as, even if I wanted to, I couldn't go as dark. So I'm just going to come in here. Again, turn your pencil every so often so you're not getting such a large flat spot on there. All those little things, totally different than we do when we're doing watercolor. And I can come into here too and blend my colors a little bit now, coming in with my 2H and coming up there and using it as a blending tool inside of my little turkey. Now you're all are probably thinking, man, it's going to take me forever to get done with this if I got to do this much work. Well, it's just a layering process and just practicing your pencil skills. So sometimes it just takes a little bit of work, doing a little bit more work in there than what you think. Now let's go ahead and do this little pig. So I'm going to start with my little pig. I'm going to do those darker spots just in my, I'm going to do those in my 2B because that would be a harder pencil. Now if you don't have a 2B, just use more hard pressure on your regular pencil that you're using. Okay, so this is going to get a nice black mark. I think I'm going to put a dot right here, a little polka dot part there. This 2B is really a soft pencil. You can get a nice dark rich black line pretty quick with a 2B, and like I said, there's even harder ones, like my one Kimberly I believe is a 9B, and that almost feels like charcoal when you draw with that, so there's a difference. I'm drawing on kind of a soft surface too. That will make a difference if you're working on a harder table. I was working on my granite countertop today. That was a really nice surface to work on. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my my regular mechanical pencil, which is regular your number 2 pencil. That would be the same as an HB pencil. So if you have an HB, you could use that. Now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do those oval shapes again. So I'm going to come in and do that oval, work on it slowly, take your time and create it. Use a little bit of a lighter pressure so you're not getting too dark right away. And you can see how you'll get a smoother look than if you start doing more line work. The line work is something that you can do, and that will add a different texture, and that works perfectly for when you want to add texture. But if you're looking for a little bit smoother look, you want to kind of try to stick with an oval if you can. This is patience. This is a takes some patience for me to do this. I'm used to doing the watercolor, so it's like instant gratification. Or even acrylic paint. If you were to come in with acrylic paint, it's like, woo, you get a lot done with one stroke. When you're doing pencil work like this and these little drawings, it takes a little bit more patience to do it. Even marker work, that gives you a lot of gratification too right away. So you can see how having a smooth paper would really make a difference. If my paper was super bumpy, I'd get a lot more texture. So this way it's focusing more on, oh, I didn't turn my pencil enough. So I can show you what will happen because I didn't turn it. I've got a pretty sharp little point on here. So when I come in, it's going to be kind of a different texture than what I have been doing. So I want to make sure I turn that pencil, even out my lead on there, so it's not getting such a sharp point on the one end. I'll end up with like little scratches right away. Oops, turn my pencil. Wrong. Like I said, it takes a little bit of work and a little bit of practice, but take your time, just practice. It's just for fun. This is going to build your skills on what you want to accomplish, because you can see now what it looks like totally different from what I was working on and how the texture was doing. So I should have just been turning my pencil more and wouldn't have had that stop and start so much. He's cute though. And by starting at the top and moving my way down, I have less of a chance of smearing him. Now I could have done him all in that 2H one. I could have done it all in that, and that would have just been even a lighter look than what I'm doing now. And we're almost done. Now this part here got a little janky looking. Got a little bit too much scratchiness going on there compared to the rest of it, but that is what it is, I guess. Okay, and then his little feet, I'm going to come in and do a little harder just to be able to pop those in. Okay, cute, 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 cute. I'm going to try doing the 2B over this and see, or the 2H, not the 2B, but the 2H, and see if I can't soften some of those colors out. Let's see if we can't get that to soften out a little bit more and blend in a little bit more. So I am coming in with a little bit more heavier pressure, but I'm still keeping my ovals and just try to blend my colors in there. Yeah, that's working a little bit to soften it out. But it still's in there, I guess. Okay, now you can decide how dark you want his little nose to be. I went pretty light on there. I left quite a bit of light. And on his ears too, I left them pretty light because I wanted them to be different than the rest of the body. So I just did a real light look on my little ears and tried to keep a little actual white in there. Like that. Cute. Okay, so let's pop down here. Oh, I got to strengthen up that eye a little bit because I lost that. Now let's pop down and do his ears. So let's try that HB again, or the 2B. Let's do the 2B for his ears. Make them nice and dark. And come over here. It's just about 6:30. So I think you're getting the general hang of what I'm trying to accomplish with doing this. Come in here and darken this little heart up. and practicing those little light sketch marks, those little light ovals, and working on that. And again, if you do one, you can pop over to my Facebook page. You'll see the post about tonight's live on there. And go ahead and post your picture underneath there. I love sharing it. So you can pop it on over in there on my Facebook page. I go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And on Tuesdays, I normally do a whimsical draw along with a little watercolor tutorial that goes along with that. So come on over and join me on Tuesdays as well. Last time I streamed it into StreamYard or into YouTube at the same time. And I was streaming into a couple different groups, and I'm not for sure if all the buffering thing worked quite so well with it being live streamed with so many different spaces. Now you could go ahead and take your 2 and come right on in there. Hello, Christy. You can come on in, and now if you wanted to add some texture to it and like make it look like this was textured, you could come in with your pencil and actually do now your shading and longer lines. But again, if you want to make it more smooth, go back to those ovals, and that's going to help blend out your color. So this one, I'm going to come in and I'll give it a little bit more texture. With it being cloth, we'll see what that looks like. And this is that number 2 hard, the 2H. So the lead is not going to be, even if I push it hard, I'm still not going to get a black line. It's just the difference is in the pencils. I find pencil sketching and shading to be very therapeutic and just relaxing and taking my time and seeing how the beauty of the pencil marks really do change with the different pressures that you're putting on it. And it's just a relaxing thing to do. But it is completely different than the watercolor, that's for sure. Now I'm going to take, let's take my 2B. Oh, you know what? Let's take the HB. That would be like a number 2 pencil. And let's do a few little swirls on him. I gave him some decorations to kind of look like he had a little bit of curly fur on him. Now we're outlining these 2. You could come back in with your pencil and darken up these outside lines to give it more of a like a graphic type of whimsical style. So you could actually come back in and darken up all your lines around and kind of clean them up that way and add a little bit more definition as well. So you can come back in and do that and add just that little bit of line quality and strengthen your lines. Isn't he cute? Oh my gosh, he's so adorable. Let's do that 2B for his little tail because I forgot to do that. Like so. He's cute. Let's see, let's take the harder one and let's do his little nose in that. But I want to leave a little catch light so it's not all the way in there. And let's take that super hard one and strengthen up this dark line for his little muzzle. He's cute. All right, now for the little bit of leaf work, you can come in and just add a little bit of color here and there. Doesn't have to be all the way. You could just add it here and there. Just a little bit of scribbling inside of there. Come up here. And he's cute, darling, darling, darling. Now to seal up your pencil ones, you probably want to put a little bit of a fixative on the top of it. This is workable fixative. You can spray your painting, spray your drawing, and then come back in and work over the top of it. It's made for, it protects pencils and pastels and chalk drawing. It helps prevent the smudging and the wrinkling and allows for easy Easy rework is what it says. It's acid free. This one you can buy at Joann Fabrics. They do carry it. I'm sure they carry it at Hobby Lobby and Michael's as well. So this is what you want to use to seal up your drawings so they don't smear on you, because they are pencil, so they will have a tendency to smear, even if you try to do with your lines going down with your hand traveling down. So they're not exact, but they could be, I always say they're not twins, but they could be sisters. They could be sisters is what they could be. Well, let's see, we're going to turn you back this way. There we go. There we go. Well, thanks for joining me this evening. I so appreciate everyone coming in for YouTube. They like to be able to have a thumbs up. So if you would just click out of your comments and give me a thumbs up, I'd so appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, I'd love for you to be a subscriber on my page. You'll get notifications then about when I go live. I'd love to have you. And I just appreciate everyone coming and showing up tonight. And you have a good evening, and we'll see you on next Tuesday. Bye now. Now I gotta find the off button.